for that. But yeah, I think we're good to go. So let's take a look. First up, we got some Tesla news. Tesla might be releasing their new redesign for the Model Y called Juniper coming soon. Apparently, there's a photo floating around of a Tesla Model Y covered up like with a tarp over the front of it and the back of it, and people think that means that the redesign coming to the Tesla might be coming soon, because that might be it, and they're just covering it up. I mean, I think we might be grasping at straws a little bit here, but, I mean, it could be. It could be. I'm not saying it's not, but I don't know. Anyway, the only information we have on what this redesign might be is from the redesign that recently came to the Model 3. So, earlier this year, the Model 3 received a refresh in the U.S., and then last year, last year it also received one in Europe. But yeah, so it got a few different things, like changes to the tail lights, and they also switched to a spelled out text logo, which is interesting. And they also gained an interior dashboard RGB strip, which is also pretty interesting. You need some lights in your fancy car. And then they also added ventilated seats, which sounds good. And then other stuff like a rear infotainment screen. That one's actually cool. And yeah, just some other stuff like that. So they're thinking that stuff might also be coming to the Model Y. But that's, it's all kind of speculation. But if it goes to the Model 3, which the Model 3 is lower down in the model's rank than the Model Y, you would think it would also go to the Model Y. So we'll have to see. Again, it's all kind of speculation. But if it is, if that's true, that would be cool. I have a Model 3. Well, I don't. My parents do. I don't drive. I'm 14. But my parents have a Model 3. They've been thinking about getting a Model Y. Thinking. Probably not, but thinking. But it would be cool if these updates go there. Also, our Model 3 doesn't have these really epic upgrades, like a dashboard RGB strip and stuff like that. That would be cool, but it doesn't. So maybe we just buy another Model 3, because that would be cool. But yeah. All right. Let's move on to what we got next. All right. Oh, okay. So this one. I don't know. It's all right. I don't know if you guys know the show Futurama. I'm not the biggest fan. I've watched actually one singular episode. Maybe it's good, but I only watched one episode, so maybe I have to watch more. But they just renewed they renewed earlier, but they're going to be releasing their 12th season this month. Any show that gets to 12 seasons has to be pretty good, otherwise it wouldn't have gone to 12 seasons. But yeah, so it's apparently due out July 29th, and the the crew is gonna meet AI friends, which makes sense because of all the stuff going on with AI. And apparently this must be a running joke, because I don't know it, because I only watched one episode of the show, but they're also gonna learn the true story behind the 5 million year old consciousness-altering substance known as coffee, which I assume is some running joke that I just don't know. But anyway, it sounds good. Maybe this is my time to start watching it. Yeah, maybe. Should we have a watch party on TSARP now? If TSARP Gaming hasn't released, we're not doing a watch party. But yeah, when we release TSARP Gaming, we'll also release watch parties, because you can't get better than that. All right, let's see what else we got. Okay. So this one's a follow-on topic to the topic we were talking about the other day, which was very strange and kind of confusing. But but now we have more info on it. Well, not more info. We have an update on it. For some reason, I can't get the article. All right. So Epic says its EU iOS App Store is approved, but that Apple wants a change. So the other day we talked about how how Apple was denying Epic's request for their new App Store because Epic's App Store buttons looked very similar to their App Store buttons? Well, we have an update. Apple has allowed their version or their new App Store version onto, or they've approved it. I don't even know the process. I didn't want to say onto because, like, I don't think once they approve it, Epic still needs to, like, put it somewhere because I don't think it just. I don't know if it goes onto the App Store and then you download it from there. I think, like, you download it from Epic's website. I don't know. It's confusing, which is why which is why I'm still confused. But, all right. So, yeah. So, basically, they allowed it to be approved, but they still want the buttons to change. They still think they look way too similar to theirs, which I don't even know if they did, why that's an issue, because, like, why? Why is that a problem? And even if it did, which it doesn't sound like it does, because they had apparently different text too. Like they were saying like it just was too similar, but I don't know. The weirdest thing I've seen in a long time. Yeah, here we go. So Apple rejected the submissions because the company felt the game's store's in-app purchases label and install button hewed too closely to Apple's design and positioning for its own similar features. Why is that a problem? I don't know, but you know, that's the news. But luckily, at least they approved it to the App Store, and even though they allowed it, though, apparently they do want it to be fixed in another version, and that this is only temporary. But I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. But like, what are they even gonna do? Like, what should they just change it? Like, instead of in-app purchases, there are, and spell it, there are purchases in this app? I don't know. I mean, how else do they want them to reword it? But yeah, strange. All right, let's see what else we got. I think. All right, yeah. So this one, okay, this one's cool. I'm a Nintendo fan myself, so this one sounds interesting. Maybe I'll have to get it. But tomorrow, Nintendo is releasing basketball to the Nintendo Switch Sports game. The free upgrade will include online and local 2v2 play with motion controls, and for local play, you'll get a 3-point shootout mode and a 5-streak battle game that has you and your friends shoot it out to see who can score 5 baskets first. All right, sounds pretty cool. We got a little preview image here. I don't have Nintendo Switch Sports, though I have been playing Nintendo Switch a lot recently, but only Mario Kart. So maybe I should get Nintendo Switch Sports and start playing. I don't know how much it is though. Probably like the normal like $60-$70 range that Nintendo seems to release. But yeah, so this sounds cool. And I mean, I think there's a bunch of games on the Nintendo Switch Sports. I think actually, yeah. Let me look up the list. How many are there? I've played it again. This number keeps coming up once before. And at Joe, who's been on the podcast before, we played at his house after his like birthday party last year. But yeah, so I've played it once. I don't have a big background I don't have that much experience, guys, but I'll give you what I know. But yeah, so let me look this up. Switch Sports games. You see the whole list. There might also be add-on games too, but I'm not sure. All right, here we go. So, it's just loading. All right, so apparently, no, this is the wrong thing. Oh wait, no. Okay. I think I got it now. I think I figured it out. No, I got no clue. All right, so from memory, what did we play? I think we played tennis. What else did we play? Oh, there were some different games, like a game where you hit each other with a bat. That was a weird one. No, it wasn't exactly like that. It was a little bit different. And yeah, I forget the other ones. But now the news is you get another one if you have it, and if you don't have it, well, you should buy it, and maybe I'll buy it. We'll see. All right. I gotta keep an eye on the clock. All right, so we have like another 15 minutes till our first interview. I hope I didn't get the timing wrong. That would be amateur hour, guys. We've had 141 episodes, but I finally forget the time we have a guest. All right, so let me double check that time, and then we'll move to the stocks, see what's going on in the stock market, the stonk market. Yeah, I think 1:30. All right, we got 15 minutes. All right, so look at this. If you're looking on YouTube, I got a nice little update to to the visual. So as you can see, the stock chart is right on the screen, full screen, and then boom, it automatically switches every 10 seconds. So when we don't have a topic or nothing to show on the screen, right? Sometimes there's topics, or even like in interviews, we really don't show anything on the screen. I can switch to this, and boom, every 10 seconds it will switch between the different Mag 7 stocks. So let's see, right now on Microsoft, Microsoft's down today. Oh God, almost like 0.5%. I said, oh God, like that's like a lot. No, I mean, that's pretty average if you're down. Nvidia back up. That's all I care about. Up 1.86%. Let's see what's next. I saw Google, but I didn't see what percent. Tesla's up almost 0.9%. All right, yeah, not at the highs of the day though. All right, so yeah, we'll check in on the other ones, and we'll flip through though, so you guys can keep watching. Without me having to announce it. Well, I mean, if you're on Twitter, you can't see it, but yeah, Meta's down like 2% almost. Amazon's down 0.5%. All right. So what else was I gonna do? Oh yeah, right. So I was gonna look. I think I had planned out a few topics, and then now I've run out of them. I had four planned topics, guys. Now I gotta just find what's going on. Oh, actually, the Canva CEO was on an interview the other day, and I did plan this one out too. The Canva CEO was on an interview the other day, and actually, I think it released today, but I was like, yo, maybe we should get the Canva CEO on TSARP, because we recently had Guy Kawasaki on TSARP, and he is the chief evangelist over at Canva. So I was like, yo, maybe we can get Melanie Perkins, the CEO, but we'll have to see. I'll try, guys. But I mean, we were recently talking about Figma, so after that, I don't know if she's gonna want to come on, but maybe we can't get what's his name, Dylan Field, I think. I don't know. I know so many CEOs' names that I've run it. Yeah, Dylan Field. We were talking about Figma, and if we have Dylan Field on the podcast, I don't know if Melanie Perkins, CEO of Canva, is gonna come on, because Dylan Field's the CEO of Figma, and they're kind of competitors. I mean, they are and they aren't. I mean, they're both design tools, but Figma's like more like meant for like designers, and Canva's meant for people who just like people that don't have a background in design and want to design something quickly, which I love Canva. People say you can almost tell when someone uses like a Canva template, but like there's a lot of ways where you can use Canva like you would never tell it was made with Canva. Like you could fully customize everything. It's not like, yeah, it's a good platform. It's like a good middleman between drag and drop, and then like where you go with Adobe when it's kind of or Figma where it's just kind of you get nothing. You just get a bunch of tools, So it's a good mix. They also have a lot of cool AI tools like AI image editing tools, which are awesome. I use them a lot when I'm like working on projects. Like all our thumbnails are made in Canva. And yeah, like there's just a lot of cool things. Like what I'll do a lot to work on like a thumbnail is I'll say take someone's like profile picture, say we're interviewing them, and like I'll need to like adjust it slightly so that everything fits right, and like I'll move them. Like, I can use the Canva, like, I forget it. It's like you select, I forget the name of it. I think it's like image grab or something like that, where you grab a part of the image and you can separate it. And, like, so I'll move them over but keep the background the same. And I'm like, I wonder if they ever, like, go crazy thinking, like, wait, I don't have that image. Like, that's not a real image. And they're like, I don't know how he would have changed that. But then they might realize, oh, AI. But, yeah, I was like, I wonder if people ever notice when like, they look at the thumbnail and notice their picture is different than it actually is. But, yeah. All right, so love Canva, though. I'm not going to go over what was in this interview, though you should check it out. The podcast is called Decoder, and it's one of the Verge podcasts. So you go check it out. Go see what's going on with the Canva CEO, and then go spam email her and say, get on TSARP. The last one was a lie. Don't do that. That would probably actually hurt our chances pretty bad. All right, let's see the next topic. Oh, what is this? Okay, all right, this is so weird. This is a very strange topic for us, but this is the summer's coolest new smart kitchen gadget. literally, GE's profile's newest nugget ice maker. What have we come to talk about ice makers now on TSARP? Is a lean, mean ice making machine, but be prepared to clean. Oh my gosh. Alright, so I'm just doing this for the memes at this point. This is the most ridiculous topic. This ice maker's $600. Some smart home gadgets could be considered essential. A smart thermostat can save you money. A smart door lock can prevent you from getting locked out. But unlike those gadgets, it's hard to argue you need a smart GE Profile Opal 2.0 Ultra Nugget Ice Maker. Wow. However, you may want this gadget because it makes the good ice. Yes, $630 is a lot of money for any countertop gadget, let alone one that just freezes water. I don't get it. What is this for? I don't know why what is so good about it? I mean, I guess that's why you kind of it's nugget ice. I realized that. Yeah, that's the good ice. That's the ice you want. That's why they literally call it the good ice, aka, and they list, this is on The Verge, by the way, they list other names, chewable ice, sonic ice, pellet ice, or as many families call it, the good ice. I kind of knew there was like a weird following of people that love this kind of ice. I sort of did, but I didn't realize how many names there were for it. Slightly concerning, but still don't get why it's $600, and why does it need to be smart? Why isn't there an easier way to make this kind of ice? I guess we'll never know, because this is one of the most, I would say, well, we already said weirdest, but strangely kind of fascinating, why there's a cult following of this kind of ice. But, alright, let's get on to a topic most people probably care a lot more of. You gotta like YouTube if you want more, ice content, because I know there's some of you out there. Maybe we just actually forget about TSARP Gaming. What we need is TSARP Ice. See, that one would probably do a lot better than TSARP Gaming or TSARP, what was the other one I was saying? Something reviews, something? I don't know. Yeah, I think it was something reviews, I don't know. Whatever I said earlier. Releases, I don't know. But TSARP Ice, it would be like the best podcast title. Just got it, man. All right. Let's find a much better topic. Something about I'm just scrolling at this point on The Verge because I ran out. But we actually already talked about that. I think that was Apple's Formula 1 movie. Okay. This is good. This one's really good. I want to talk about this. This was apparently in Phoenix, Arizona, because there's two places on Earth where this could happen. It's San Francisco or Phoenix, Arizona, because we're talking about Waymo, and Waymo is only available in San Francisco or Phoenix, Arizona. And if you don't know what Waymo is, it's a self-driving car. We recently talked about these, that they were just released in San Francisco, as I keep saying. But now, apparently, a police car pulled over a Waymo car for driving in the oncoming lane. Waymo told Phoenix police the car changed into the lane after encountering inconsistent construction signs. On June 19th, a Phoenix police officer pulled over an anonymous Waymo vehicle. Before we continue on, what do you mean pulled? Like, does it actually pull over? Like, I don't know. I guess we'll figure that out, but I don't even know. That had been driving in an oncoming traffic lane. The car was apparently confused by some construction signs and reportedly ran a red light before pulling over in a parking lot to let the officer talk to one of the Waymo support representatives. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I didn't know this is how it works. What I'm getting from this is if you, by the way, I should probably check that. I am always confused by Twitter. I want to make sure. Yeah, I think all the audio is working. But so I guess what happens is if you pull over a Waymo, right? The car senses when it's trying to be pulled over, and then it pulls into either a parking lot or on the side of the road like you normally would. But then it connects the police officer with a Waymo support representative, which is just really funny. I don't even know, like, does it do that? I don't know if it does that, like it calls from inside the car or what it does. But all right. So then, in about 2.5 minutes of body cam footage published by the Arizona police, the officer told Waymo the car was driving in a construction zone when it went into opposing lanes of traffic, which is real bad. I guess that, yeah, that's a quote by the officer. He then told a curious bystander what had happened, adding, "So I lit it up and it takes off in the intersection." A dispatch record reportedly said the car drove through a red light and freaked out before it pulled over. Self-driving cars are crazy, man. I don't even know who allowed these things. Let's put it that way. I don't know. I mean, they're like, there's a name for it. I forget. It's like a weird name. But for people that are like really like just like are very on the side of like push technology as far as it can go, even if there's issues. And I'm really on that side. But still, sometimes it boggles my mind that other people also said yes to this. But yeah. I don't know. There's actually body cam footage. We can watch this of it pulling over the car. But I don't think I want to watch the whole thing. But let's just see this. Okay, so let's see. It pulls. Okay, let's just get when it walks up to the Waymo. So it walks up to the Waymo. It pulls down the window. You know, this is a self-driving car. There's nothing in it. And I guess what it does is, yeah, connect them with a representative. But yeah, and then I also want to see if there was footage of it pulling it on going traffic, but I don't know. Wild. Waymos are crazy. What's the other? I forget the other self-driving car company. I mean, obviously Tesla's working on robo-taxis. Well, at least a little bit, but I forget. There is one, and I don't know who it is, but I also believe Waymo's the Google one. All right, so let's see. Next topic: Lucid Motors sets new record for EV. Oh, by the way, I gotta keep checking the time. I'm gonna end up missing that. Lucid Motors sets new record for EV deliveries as it seeks escape velocity. Okay. Let's see what they're talking about here. Lucid Motors delivered 2,394 EVs in the second quarter of 2024, a new record for the company and a positive sign amid its struggle to establish a foothold in the still growing market for electric vehicles. So, if you've never heard of it, Lucid Motors is a car company, an electric car company, and they're trying to steal some biz from Tesla. They're still having problems ramping up, but they are getting better. Like I said, they released over 2,000 in quarter two. That number easily clears Lucid's prior record when it set the first quarter of the year set in the first quarter of the year when it shipped 1,967 of its luxury sedans. The Saudi-backed California-based company has been looking to expand the number of buyers for its Lucid Air sedan by slashing prices and offering more affordable trims. What's the prices on these things? Oh, okay. So apparently the starting price is hovering around 100,000. But of the Air version. That's the Air version. But also apparently they have recent cuts and have moved those prices. Oh, okay. So, oh no, now the price has moved down to about 70,000. Okay, so I guess it started at 100,000. Now it's at like 70. But yeah. All right. So there's a lot of competition in the EV space. I think we all know this though, with Rivian, Tesla, and Lucid. So it's interesting to follow there. But I don't even know anyone with a Lucid. I don't even know if it's that big. I mean it is, but I think more it's a production issue and a price issue is really the problem. But yeah. So all right. Apparently, there's also some Echo Dot news. Is Amazon like the leader in like that space? Like, is Alexa still like the best, or do people have more like HomePods or Google? What was Google's? Google, was it just Google Home? I don't know. Maybe that was it. I don't know. I think Alexa's still the leader, but Amazon has released all new versions of Echo Spot ahead of Prime Day. The company announced on Monday the 2024 version of the Alexa-enabled smart alarm clock costs $80. Wow. But it's currently on sale for $44.99 for Prime members. The company says the latest iteration of the product comes with better visuals and improved audio quality. The device is available in what did I say? Black, glacier. The reason I said that is I was looking at black and glacier white at the same time, and I think I said black, glacier white, and ocean blue. The Echo Spot is designed to sit on your nightstand and features a display that lets you sit and view alarms and see the time, weather, and weather. Wait. Allows you to see the time, weather, and song titles. All right, so yeah, if you don't know what these look like, they're interesting. They actually have a display on them, like I think I said, and they're kind of like a smart alarm clock too. But that's a lot for an alarm clock, $80. Well, now it's cheap. I gotta look up when is Prime Day, and then we gotta move on to our interview. But when is Prime Day? I don't know. People have been talking about it, but I don't know when it is. Yeah, let's see. Maybe, July 16th to 17th. All right, Prime Day is big. People love Prime Day, so we'll have to see what's going on there. Maybe, actually, I've been needing a MacBook, so I could buy it on Prime Day, probably for pretty cheap. Let's hope. Yeah, and then maybe I can get back to buying stocks if I have enough money, but we'll see. We'll see, because I was talking about how I needed money. So we'll see if I get it. All right. I think we're ready for our interview in a second. Let me just make sure. I don't even know what I have so many tabs open. I'm surprised my computer hasn't crashed anymore, honestly. All right. So let me invite up our guest, or he can request. I gotta see. All right, invite to speak. Yeah, I don't know. Twitter Space is a little clunky. I think X really has to work. I also say Twitter too much. I gotta start switching over. People are in between. I don't know. I gotta switch over. Also, let me open up Twitter Spaces in another browser, because this is an issue. When I invite up people to speak, half the time, like, they've been requesting, but I just don't see it. So let me make sure that's all good too. All right. Yeah, I think it's working. I also hope you don't hear me double. Fight to speak. Let me do it again. But, all right. Yeah. In the meantime, let's check back in on the market. Let me pull up the Mag 7 screen. Let that flip around. Nvidia's going a little higher now. Hope it keeps going strong. We love Nvidia. Hope it goes up more. I actually have an ETF that invested in the whole Mag 7, so, all these stocks contribute to how I'm doing. I'm still checking in. I hope it's not my side, honestly. Could be. Reconnect. Let's see.
Hello, can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can. All right.
Awesome.
All right, so let me switch. You can hear me all right?
Yeah, I can.
All right, great. So, how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks, Andrew. Thank you for inviting me. This is really cool. I love what you're doing.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you for coming on. But yeah, I'm just excited to dive into what you're doing. So let's start off with how you came up with the idea for Beam.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll be honest with you. It just started as a chatbot. I didn't want to pay for ChatGPT Plus, so I built my own chatbot and just used the API. So and then I sort of built on it from there. I was like, I think it'd be cool if it did this, this, and this, and then I gave a demo of it on Andreas Klinger's office hours, out of office hours. I can't remember what it's called. And then I woke up the next day with a bunch of emails from VCs, and that was like, oh, I really should start taking this seriously. So I had a few people give it a go, try it out, and yeah, the general feedback was, it wasn't it wasn't good enough as as a chatbot. So I sort of adapted from there, built out this sort of dashboard interface, which I then got a bunch of feedback on, which was really, really helpful. And I've built on that, and it's now this new sort of adaptive interface, and I'll be showing it off in a few weeks, and I think it looks really cool, and it's super super powerful as well.
Yeah, and that's awesome. And actually, let's jump a little back before that. How did you even get into programming in the start?
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't really know. I've always wanted to, had felt a need to make things and create and stuff. So when I was 7, I learned about a Raspberry Pi, and I asked for it for my birthday, and that was my 7th birthday present, was a Raspberry Pi Model 3B, I think, and I learned to code sort of using that. I built some really terrible Python games, and all that fun stuff, and that's really where it started.
Gotcha. All right. And then I think you already said it, but when can we expect a launch?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. A private launch will be coming in the next few weeks, so I'll send that out to a group of private beta testers. But an actual sort of a public launch for Beam's web version will still be a few months out. But I had people trying out the sort of old dashboard interface and stuff, but this new interface is very experimental, but it's very very powerful. So I'll sort of be I'll give a demo at some point within the next few weeks of this new interface, and then we'll sort of go from there.
All right. Well, I'm very excited for it. And what are some challenges that you experienced while developing Beam?
Um, I think aside from my mum walking in on important calls, which has always been quite a tough one. it's it's really been sort of managing how this with school. The past few weeks, I've sort of been starting pitching Beam to VCs, and I've also been doing my exams, so it's I was trying to handle sort of meeting with investors and stuff, potential investors, whilst doing my exams, which is definitely a challenge. And I also find the fact that being a 15-year-old is both a disadvantage and a massive advantage, because um, it really gives you that ability just to reach out to anyone, because you just say, look, I'm 15, I'm building this, and that's a really great reason, for people to come and listen, and just have a chat. But I think it's also quite tough having sort of people taking you seriously. I found that that's been a big struggle for me sometimes. So yeah, I think it's definitely a disadvantage and advantage being so young doing this. But overall, I think it's been more of an advantage for me.
Yeah, and I can totally relate to what you were saying. Like, I can experience that. I'll get a lot of responses, like just messaging people to see if they want to come on the podcast and talk. Like, I'll get the response sometimes, like, yeah, that's awesome. I love what you're doing at a young age. And then sometimes I'll get a response, and I can tell they're just like, yeah, like, they don't want to come on because they just don't see it on the same level, since, like, I'm younger and 14. So I get both those responses, like you were kind of saying there. And then,
Definitely, yeah.
yeah, and what are some of the unique features of Beam that set it apart from the other AIs?
Um, I think what's really cool about it is that it's not a chatbot anymore. I think we've every few years we see sort of this new way of interacting with computers, and right now I think that big thing's LLMs. It's sort of like a big defining technology of this past few years. And I think chatbots really aren't, chatbot. I always say this: chatbots are 30-year-old interfaces. Right from the creation of the internet, it's what we use to interact with different people and other computers and stuff. And I think it's really not the way we should be interacting with such powerful LLMs. Um, so that's sort of what I'm trying to move forwards with Beam. It's both interaction with AI, but also with your computer in general. Beam's what I'm calling like proactive a proactive computer, and sort of what that means is it comes to you with suggestions and stuff. Um, and something really cool it did the other day was I was doing my work experience at TL Draw, and I left my charger there one night, um, and it texted me on the next day as it sort of knew I was going to be leaving, just saying, remember to pick up your charger, and things like that. It's so cool. And I hadn't told it to remind me or anything. It just did that, and such unexpected things like that, and it's so powerful. Just these really delightful little interactions which you don't expect to happen. I think that's what's really cool about it.
Yeah, and I think what you were saying there, like you didn't expect it, is one of the beautiful things of AI because there's like when you
Mm.
code a program most of the time, everything's kind of like hard coded in a way where you know the output. But with AI, it's just you don't know what the possibilities could be. So that's one of the very exciting things. But yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
And what do you kind of envision Beam evolving into in the next few years?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite tough to say. I'd love to have other people working on it. That's sort of why I've really started this fundraising process. I think Beam could be a really powerful way for people to interact with these AIs, and I'd love for it sort of to become this standard. Um, and we'll see what happens. But I think it's really interesting. It's sort of like a more delightful way to interact with computers and AI, because I think it's less so about the technology which defines a good product. It's sort of the way you're able to interact with it, because you might have a super powerful product, but if you're not in if there's horrible interface, or it's really unclear on how to use it, just it's that's not what makes a good product. I think if you've got powerful technology but with a lovely interface which is easy to understand, very intuitive, and nice looking, I think that's what makes a whole big difference. So I think sort of Beam setting that standard of an interface to interact with AI and computers would be really cool.
Yeah, and what I love about Beam too is because we're all kind of like trying to imagine how are we going to interact with AI in 5 years, right? And like you're saying, like chatbots are
Mhm.
old. We need a new way, and I'm really hoping that Beam will be that way. And I can't again wait to see the demos and the launches. So, yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
going to be
Yeah.
really exciting. And what advice, as a teen entrepreneur yourself, do you have for other aspiring teen founders?
Yeah, I think I sort of give this advice to anyone, no matter the age. But I think I've always had this philosophy where it's just like do what makes you happy. And I think if you're really passionate about building a product, it's for me personally, it's never been about the money. It's more been just about I want to build something really cool for people to use. So I think if you're really passionate about what you're building, if there's an idea you're really passionate about, absolutely pursue that, and sort of chuck as much as you have at it. Don't focus on just making crap tons of money. Focus on really making something delightful, and I think that's where a good product's really built.
Yeah, and I think that's great advice because that is where a lot of young people go wrong, or, really anyone goes wrong is when they start really focusing on the money, too. But also,
Absolutely.
sometimes, like, there's a difference between focusing, like, just on making money, but also sometimes, like, it is good to sometimes focus on how do I raise money for my product because you do, like you were saying, you do need venture funds sometimes to help your get your product going, and get your company really started and make a better product for users. So, how have you kind of navigated venture capital?
Yeah, VC meetings I find really fun, which I think that's a bit of a weird thing, to find them fun, but it's I see it as a way sort of rather than just a way to for me to make money. I see it as a way for me to be able to push this product forwards, and really get a team of people who are equally as passionate about it, building this product. And I think if I can if I can get money to really build out a delightful thing, that's really where I'd be utilizing that money, rather than just saying, oh, I've raised XYZ from XYZ fund, it would just be, I've been able to do this to raise, I've been able to do this to build a wonderful product.
Gotcha. Yeah, and let's go a little more into like other stuff you've done. So, what are some other side projects or just other projects you've worked on?
Yeah. Well, I used to work at this wonderful place called Hack Club, where sort of I started as a community engineer, where I sort of, I did manage community, sort of did events and stuff, and that was so fun. I love Hack Club, and then I moved on to storytelling, where I designed and built and maintained their websites, which was so much fun because I loved seeing people being able to, use the websites I built, and just seeing, even just screenshots of people on those websites on Twitter and stuff. That just made my day. I really enjoyed that. Those were great. Before that, I worked on this project called Artav, which was like sort of this website builder thing, which I don't think actually ever released, but it's essentially what Notion Pages is, and that really got me into thinking about design and code, and I'm sure the code base is very horrible looking back at it now, but it's really got what got me interested in all this stuff. So yeah, I think those are sort of the big things I've done.
And what are some of your favorite languages or tools to work with?
My favorite language is TypeScript. I started learning Python, and I moved on to JavaScript, and then I was introduced to the wonders of TypeScript, and that was quite fun. My favorite tools, that's quite a tough one. Oh, there's been there's I use quite a lot of tools. My favorite tool is Beam, absolutely, but but I think not aside from this shameless self plugging, I really like Figma. Figma's great. It's just such a wonderful experience. I've done all of Beam's pitch deck and Figma's new slides, which I think they're lovely. It's just such an inspiring product. You can utilize it to do almost anything. So powerful. Um, Recently, I've been using a text editor called Zed. Which, yeah, I think those are sort of the tools I enjoy using and stuff.
Gotcha. And where do you get some of the inspiration for your designs with Beam?
I have a lot of mood boards. Um, there are certain projects and stuff which I always find myself sort of having a look at. There are these wonderful little Twitter accounts which run like these design inspiration stuff, and I always find myself going back to them and just finding really nice stuff people have built. Um, yeah, you know I think it's always important to gather as much inspiration as possible. Um, so yeah, I think that's sort of where I find those sort of things, uh, mainly from the products I find myself using every day. I think an important philosophy. I heard this on. I saw a tweet about this. It was like the best software you use is the one you don't notice you're using, and I really live sort of. I create software by that, and I really like that. And that's sort of where I find my inspiration.
Makes sense. And also, you've gained a pretty big following on Twitter, too, from talking about Beam and what other stuff you're working on. Do you have any advice for other teens or just other people trying to build up a following?
Um, I think try to stay consistent, which initially I was quite good at, but I'm not so anymore, which is quite bad. I find myself, if you see a tweet from me, it's generally been quite an unproductive day because I feel like, oh, I should tweet. I've not done so much for the rest of the day. So yeah, if you see a tweet from me, it's probably had an unproductive day. I think try to keep your tweets consistent as well. So I find I'm generally tweeting about design and Beam and all that stuff. Um, and I think if you have sort of a consistent theme, people will see that and want to follow you. So I think if you're sort of hopping all over the place doing different things, that's less productive than you might think it is. Because I find that personally, I only want to follow people who talk about the things I'm interested in. So if I see someone talking about 30 different things, that's immediately going to be a turn away for me. So yeah, I think keep consistent and sort of be specific about what you're tweeting about.
And if you were to learn how to code all over again, how would you do that?
Build as many projects as possible. As much as great as those 100-hour YouTube tutorials are, I find myself just sort of getting bored at having to sit there listening to them. So I think the way I sort of learned to code and am learning to code is just by building as much stuff as possible and sort of building things I find interesting. Um, so that started as Artav. I wanted a simpler website builder for myself, so that's what I built. Um, but I think, yeah, try to build as much stuff as possible and build things that interest you, because if you're not building things that interest you, then that's not going to be particularly productive.
Yeah, and that's very similar to the advice I give all the time. Like, you should probably get your start with like either a quick just like how to download, an IDE and, get started video, but then after that jump into, a project, jump into something like you were
Definitely.
saying like that you want to build and just like, when you don't know something, you can, look it up. Now with when I learned, I didn't have AI, but now you could probably ask an AI to help you, right? Don't ever just copy and paste code. That's a very bad way to learn, but yeah,
Yeah,
just like learn from different sources, whether they're, online or, AIs or really any of that, but just like start by building a project. A-
definitely. Yeah.
yeah. And yeah, so if is there anything else that you want to mention that we didn't get to, or you can also plug anything else that you want to?
I'm not sure. I think that's everything. I mean, obviously, go sign up to Beam. That's BEEM.computer. Um, it's been great seeing people sign up for that. It's very exciting. And if you're a teenage programmer, go and sign up to Hack Club. That's just hackclub.com. Really wonderful community of teenage programmers, and I definitely recommend that. It's so lovely. Yeah, I think that's everything.
All right. Well, thanks for joining today.
Of course, thanks for having me.
All right. See ya.
See you in a bit. Bye bye.
All right, let's see what other tech news we have. That was a great interview. Really great to learn from him, too. So, if you guys, that's a great resource, too. I think a lot of people, a great thing to do is sometimes to go back to interviews because a lot of people don't absorb everything the first time around, right? So, if you want, save this and you can always come back to it, too. But all right, so let's see what's going on in the tech world right now. Kind of following back up on what we were looking at earlier. Seeing, did we leave off in the middle of a topic last time? No, I think we had wrapped that up. What were we talking about before we went to that interview? I don't even remember. Oh, was it the was it the self-driving cars? Waymo getting pulled over. I think it was. All right, yeah. So what else should we jump into here? We were also talking about lucid cars, but let's jump a little into something else for a second. So let's look what's going on with Apple. We already talked about the Epic and Apple news. Let's move from that. Oh, okay. So we got a little. Let's follow up on this. So we talked the other day about how Figma's new AI tool was making designs that were strangely similar to Apple's. And there's a big controversy over that. And we also did get a response from Dylan Field, the CEO of Figma. But let's see apparently there's an update on this, so let's dive into it. This week, Figma CEO Dylan Field said the company will temporarily disable its Make Design AI feature after it was accused of heavily training the tool on existing apps. The feature unveiled at the company's annual Config conference aimed to jumpstart the design process by generating UI layouts and components from text prompts, but faced criticism after it seemingly mimicked the layout of Apple's weather app. All right, so we had compared the two different photos the other day, and they were so similar that I didn't even realize that that was Figma's version. I was literally like, okay, there's the Apple version, but where's the Figma version? And then I realized they were side by side. It was the same. So yeah. Apparently now though, that they're gonna disable it just because it was so similar. They need to fix it. They gotta figure out some type of fix. I don't know if they're gonna retrain the models, if they're gonna change the models, what they're gonna do, make a custom model. I don't know. But it is very strange. It is a very wild feature. But all right, a little weird there. Let's see what else is going though. We talked about those. Apparently there's a new. Oh yeah. Okay. So apparently, there is. What is this topic? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I read this wrong. I thought there was a new AI for to helping avoid scams, but no, they're just talking about how AI has made scams easier to get tricked by. So forget about that. Forget about that. Also, by the way, we got an interview coming up later, too, still, with Dante. He's going to talk about some of the stuff he's working on with building his personal brand, but also his takes on teen entrepreneurship and how to start really a physical brand or a home service brand rather than like an online business, because a lot of people are trying to start online businesses nowadays. So we'll get his take not only on personal brands and what he's doing, building his Twitter, which also I have a very, I wouldn't want to say my own take is very interesting, because that's a weird thing to say. But no, my take on personal brands is different than others. Like, what I'll see a ton of the time is either just like the fake people like that either start their personal brand as like their first business and are like like I was able to accomplish an either like a fake like hook, or a hook that is like not even, or is like exaggerated, and like, this is what I was able to achieve, follow me for the best info, and then like they copy and paste info, and then they gain this big following, but like on fake stuff. So I'll see that a lot, and just like stuff like that. But what Dante's doing that I really like is he's mainly doing like, this is like, I'm starting out too, but I'm a teen starting out. You should start too. This is why you should start. Here's some of the info I learned just starting out, right? That could help you start out, and then let's build this together, which is what I really like about him. So I think he's got a different. He's one of the people that stand out. That normally, what you'll see is like some of the fake people. So that's why I have him on, because I think he's one of the good ones. So I'm excited about that. That's coming in about half an hour. All right. So let's jump into some more news that we have here. We're running out. We're scraping the bottom of the barrel. So let's switch it up since we're getting a little it's getting a little difficult here. Actually, I got a good idea. Let's do this. Let's go on to my favorite site that if you're on YouTube you're actually staring at right now because it's up on the screen, Trading View. And let's sort by news for, actually, let's not sort. Let's just go their news feed. So, yeah, we got a bunch of, actually, let me sort. Otherwise, I'm going to get a lot of just, like, stock, like, economy news that I might not want. There's some Super Micro. Oh, yeah, let's see what's going on with Super Micro. So, apparently, okay, so Super Micro Computer is up 9% today. Let's see what that's about. What's driving that stock up? Artificial intelligence server super microcomputer stock traded higher on Monday as positive cues fired from every cylinder. The semiconductor market benefited from more Wall Street price target boosts for key AI beneficiary NVIDIA in leading contract chip maker Taiwan Semiconductor. All right, so yeah, basically Wall Street is very bullish on what's going on with AI right now. Which are we ready for another run up? Because I think we had a big pullback on Nvidia a little while ago, but I think it's recovering, right? We really saw that. I mean, they're still up 140% 6 months. Oh my goodness, I can't even imagine. It's hard to think like how much they're up. Like, it's because I could have bought in. I did buy in though. Like I did, but just so slightly. But oh man, it's bad. But yeah, so they had gone at their peak too. Let's see what they were at their peak. At a high of 140, and right now they're at 128. So they're not that far, but also it was a lot easier to well, it wasn't a lot easier, but Yeah, it's just, they're not that far. They did have a little pullback, but now they are recovering because they had gone to a low. They were at like 118, so they're 10 up from that. So they're doing better. They're recovering, guys. Don't worry. So we'll see. We'll see what's going on and hope that they can make it back. What's the market cap? Who's the largest company or the most valuable company in the world? Largest companies by market cap. All right, let's take a little look at this. All right. Oh, Apple's back in first. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's wild right there. Gotta admit, I was really thinking that Apple was out, that Apple wasn't gonna come back, but they did, which is honestly strange. I think that was today. Yeah, I think that all happened today because Apple's up slightly, Microsoft is down slightly. I think it really doesn't count though until the close. Like people wouldn't say like, "Oh, they were back" until it closes and it's still above, but I'm not sure. And Nvidia still in third. I can't believe it. Nvidia got into third, and we're like all like, "Whoa," And then it got into first, and we're all like, "Whoa!" And now it's back down to third, and we're all like, "Boo!" It should be back in first. But I don't know. I'm an Nvidia fanboy more than Apple. I've been really like bearish on Apple, which is weird. I've been like go down Apple. It's like I'm practically shorting Apple, which is the weird thing. It's kind of like because I just want to see new people up there. We all know Apple's big. We all know they release great products. But, like, the NVIDIA story is what I want. I mean, did Tim Cook work at a Denny's? No, but Jensen Huang did, which is why I want NVIDIA up at first. I don't know why. I don't like Denny's that much. Denny's is, like, kind of mediocre. I probably just offended a lot of people. But no, I want NVIDIA to win. I want them like win. Like this is a competition. Like there's a prize. There's no prize. It's just that your market cap is the highest. Yeah, I love that win. There's never an end. The end is when one of these companies go bankrupt, which will never. I would be very surprised if that ever happens. But yeah, let's see what else is in the lineup. We got Google in fourth, Amazon in fifth, Saudi Armco, yeah, I think it's something like that. In sixth, Meta in seventh, TSMC, we were talking about them earlier, Taiwan Semi in eighth, Berkshire Hathaway in ninth, Eli Lilly in 10th. All right, Tesla, man, they just went down another spot. Now they're in 12th. They were in 11th yesterday, I believe. Yeah, it's wild. Can you believe Walmart's the 15th largest company? They're huge. I would have thought they were a lot smaller. Where's Target? Is Target even on this list? Are they even that good to be on here? I don't think so. I think they're actually they aren't. What's their position? Oh my gosh, yeah, they're not on here. Let me search by... let me just search for them. No, they're not. So Walmart's a lot bigger than Target is. I didn't know that. I thought Target was actually bigger. I don't know why. Oh my gosh, they're not even on the next 100th. Wow. Okay, Target's a very much smaller company than I thought. Let me look up their market cap. Let's see. They're only at 69 billion, where Walmart is way above. Oh wait, are they on this? No, they're in the top 300 though, from what I know. Yes, they are. Yep, they're in the top 300. They're 266th, where Walmart is 15th. Wow, go Walmart. I gotta do all my shopping there now, because they're a lot cooler than Target. Target, bad. I don't know why. I randomly go on these streaks of just, like, very either positive or negative emotions on random things. All right. Yeah, Saudi America is listed. I was just wondering. Oh, and TSMC isn't listed on an American exchange? Oh, no. It is. Its country of origin is Taiwan. Yeah. That should have been clear. Honestly, I should have realized that. But yeah, I think they're listed on the American exchange, like I'm American exchange, I'm talking about the exchange. No, I'm talking about the American markets. I don't know which one. I don't know if it's the NASDAQ or New York Stock Exchange, but I'm just saying one of the American markets. All right. Let's see what else we can talk about. Let's do some tech history for today, because we normally don't do the tech history. I should probably start shortening these episodes to like 1.5 hours. 2 is a lot, guys. It's hard to go for 2 hours. We're only an hour in, guys. Halfway mark. We gotta super power it up. Yeah. All right. So a new whole way to drill a screw. That's the news. That's the tech news we have for today. All right, several U.S. patents were issued for the Phillips head screwdriver and screw and screwdriver to inventor Henry F. Phillips. Phillips founded the Phillips Screw Company to license his patents in 1936 on this day. Wow, that is TSARP, the podcast where we share the most fascinating information on screws. Yeah, on screws. Okay. Let's see what else is here. But this was yesterday, but we'll talk about it anyway. AOL settles lawsuit on billing practices. Now we're talking about lawsuits. Great. America Online settles 11 class action lawsuits alleging misleading billing practices. Among the claims raised against AOL were that customers were not aware that charges were rounded up to the next full minute, that 15 seconds were added to each session for connection time, and occasionally billing customers for time in free areas. I love, this is just funny because it's this would never be an issue today with cell phones and those data plans. Paying, adding on payment for 15 seconds of connection time. People probably don't even know what that means nowadays. Oh my goodness. This brought up something I want to do, a little quick segment. Let's go down the rabbit hole of, do old websites still exist? I want to see, does MySpace even still exist? I don't even know if you guys know MySpace. Half the people don't. All right, so apparently there is a myspace.com, and I'm on it right now, but I don't know if this is the same MySpace. Let me look it up. Does MySpace still exist? Let's see. MySpace is still active today, but it's a shell of its former self. No new articles have been published since early 2022, and existing songs or media cannot be played. The site's privacy policy was revised on January 9th, 2023, and has been placed on a strange read-only mode since then. All right. Does anyone still use MySpace? In May 2009, Facebook surpassed MySpace in its number of unique U.S. visitors. Yeah, guys, when I talk for too long, I get tripped up in my words, if you've noticed, where sometimes I just can't speak. All right. So MySpace still kind of active. Let me go back to it now, knowing that added context. Yeah, MySpace was a weird social media site. I think it was, I don't even really know how it was set up too much, but yeah, so I'm taking a look. Yeah, apparently there's no new articles. Let me see if I can find Artist of the Day. When was this last updated? Does it have even a date? Oh, yeah, it does. Artist of the Day, last updated in 2017. Yeah, they really disappeared. Let's see if I can find. I mean, it's good it's still up. You think, can I search for, I don't know, what would I even search for on here? Can I search for, I don't know, did people really have, what did people post on MySpace? I don't know. I know nothing about it. I just know people are you remember MySpace? You younglings don't even know. But I guess I don't. What did people do here? I mean, I get it's social media, but I don't know. Sign into your Facebook friends to find friends who are already on MySpace. First of all, they've converted. They're just yeah, we're just gotta sign in with Facebook now. We know everyone's over there. And second, who are already on MySpace, you're not getting anyone to go to MySpace. Let's put it that way. Especially now, but back then even, if they weren't on MySpace, they weren't going. So I love how they phrase this, who are already on MySpace. There are more coming later. Now, all right, what are some other old websites you hear about? I mean, I know AOL already exists. We were just talking about them. But, yeah, AOL.com still exists. It's all news. Just stuff like that. What are some other sites? Well, let me just look up old websites. See if there are other stuff. I mean, I know there are. Oh, let's actually, this would be fun. Let's, instead of doing what I was doing, just trying to see if old websites exist, let's like go to MySpace on the Wayback Machine and see what it looked like back on its, just look at it. Let's just look at it. All right, so I'm sharing my screen on YouTube. But if you're on Twitter, what can you do? So there have been snapshots a lot of the time. Let's see. There's even a snapshot back here in 1996, though I can't find it. Oh, over here. All right. Let's see what this looks like. Let's see what MySpace looked like 1996. When was the peak? Let me look up peak of MySpace. 2008. Okay. So we should probably not go to the 1996 version. 2008. 2008, December 2008. All right, let's go to December 2008. All right, 8 snapshots in one day. That's a lot. All right, let's see. Let's see if it will even work. It's having some issues here, but it's loading slowly but surely. Internet Archive is the GOAT, by the way. All right, so this is what MySpace looked like back in 2008. This is it. This is what you did, and you could browse people, find people. There were forums, music, video. Yeah, always make sure you're visiting the real MySpace. Okay, so they had some security precautions. I mean, yeah, it looks very, very old. I mean, obviously. And they have a login, sign up. All right. Yeah, I mean, it all looks old. But that's what you would expect. All right, let's see what other websites. Oh, you know what one we should do? I heard this one's fun to look at. Amazon, when they used to only sell books. All right, I didn't even spell Amazon right. All right, let's see Amazon.com. Let's go to it. I think it's loading. Oh, no. I think I clicked the wrong link. But let's hope it works. Yeah, I mean, all these old websites are, like, funny to look at just because it's like, you get to see what old people experience. That's a very offensive way of putting it. What people used to experience. Yeah, that's a much better way. How long ago was 2008? 16 years? Yeah. Wow, guys, I did that math so quickly. No, that's very quick for me, but the only reason I was able to do that is because I was born in 2010, and I knew I was 14, so I did the quick math and added 2. Okay, why won't this load? This is very, very annoying, guys. I'm very outraged. This is horrible, offensive, outrageous, like I just said. Okay, I don't think this is gonna work. Internet Archive is it's going. Oh, we're here. But this is 2024. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I was gonna assume because this would have been a very modern page design for back then. But I'm not on the calendar page, so I want to see. How do I do? I don't know. How do I? Oh God, it's so laggy. Oh my goodness. All right, we're on Amazon. Here we go. Yeah, let's see. Internet Archive. Let me just go to their main page, because otherwise it's not gonna work. They also, Internet Archive has more than the Wayback Machine, by the way. They have like books of like absolutely everything, and yeah, I mean, they're just cool there. They're saving our history. I hope they have good backups. Like I hope they have backups so that our data doesn't get corrupt. Because if this is just one singular server, imagine it's one server. Imagine it's running off one laptop. Actually, that's how it feels with how with how quick it loads. It's probably one laptop, but I'm surprised the pages don't like time out. I feel like they would, but I guess not. All right, let's see what else is going on. See if there's anything I was missing. When filtering by news on TradingView, I was getting some things, but then we went off on a tangent. So then we get back to that. Oh no, the market's turning around, guys. It's going down. It's going down. The Dow's down. Nasdaq barely up. S&P barely up. Nasdaq's up. I mean, I guess it's a decent lead, but then S&P really isn't. So Yeah. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, actually, I want to look. Oh God, it's down. Paramount. Is if you guys know CBS, Paramount, Nickelodeon. That's all the same thing. I mean, Nickelodeon and CBS are just under Paramount. But apparently there was a deal that went through to form a new company. Guess what it's called, guys? I hope this is just a placeholder in legal terms, but I don't know. It's called New Paramount, and it's gonna be such a great company. And yeah, so Paramount Global and Skydance Media merge into New Paramount, valued at $28 billion, with a cash and shareholder investment led by David Ellison, set to complete by mid-2025. Wow, that's a long time away. Paramount Global to keep cutting jobs. Okay, yeah, that's different. But 2025, what? With a cash and shareholder investment led by David Ellison, set to complete by mid-20. I'm going to have to wait that long? This stuff doesn't just happen instantly? Oh my goodness. I mean, I guess they have to go through the antitrust stuff, and such a pain. I wanted to see though, like, what's their current market cap? Why are they going down? That's my question. Their current market cap $7 billion. They're gonna be valued at $25 billion. So like, this is good. I don't know why people are so angry. I don't know. I don't get why there's a problem here. Let me see the news. No, I don't know. Oh, because apparently, okay, this says Paramount Global's merger deal with Skydance Media doesn't give holders of the company company of the non-voting B shares a vote in the transaction. This could lead to shareholder litigation, since the voting Class A shares will be purchased at a premium to the consideration being offered to the Class B shares, who own over 90% of the company. Both classes are publicly traded in the complex $8 billion deal unveiled Sunday on the. Did I say complex? Complex. $8 billion dollar deal unveiled Sunday. Class B shareholders stand to receive 15 per share. In cash, up to 48% of their stock. Shareholders of the voting Class A would get $23 per share, or 1.53 shares of the Class B stock. So basically, basically the Class B shareholders, which I am, are not doing too well, which I already knew. That's what was going to happen. But all right, so some stock, but also just interesting news there. And let's see. Also, again, got to keep an eye on the clock. We got 15 minutes to our next interview. Let's see what's going on with Bitcoin. Bitcoin's up a little bit, 56, up from where is this, up or down? I know. Oh yeah, it had been real down. It had been where? Oh, never mind. Never mind. Oh my goodness, I'm reading. I was reading down 10% as it was down 10%, and now it's up from that. I don't know. I'm really losing it. An hour and 15 minutes into a live stream, we just start to lose it a little bit, guys. It just gets a little, little blurry. No, my eyes are going blurry. No, I'm kidding. That would be really bad. Yeah, but I mean, most likely, you really don't want your eyes to go blurry. I don't know if you knew that. Just wanted to make sure you did. All right, yeah, we're at the bottom of the barrel. We gotta cut down these live streams, guys. An hour and a half would probably be good, because once you start getting into 2 hours, that's not gonna last long, because there's just not enough news in the world for that, guys. I don't know how CNBC does it. How do they talk all day? I mean, actually, I do know they repeat the same stuff over and over and over again. Like half of it's repeated from actually every show just repeats the. Okay, why am I attacking CNBC? No, it's not that bad. I mean, they do. They repeat topics. They just repeat them. Different people say them. They add new info. They bring on different experts. It's good. I mean, I love CNBC. Big fanboy of CNBC. But that's how they do it. TSARP though, all the news is original, which is why we run out so quickly. But yeah, we should we should just bring on experts. Let's bring on now turning to the expert of the hour, Andrew Weir. If I started having a conversation with myself, I think we would really know things were going downhill. Well, I guess this podcast is all a conversation with myself, practically. But I mean, there are you guys, but I don't hear you, so I guess I'm technically talking to myself. Yeah, that's wild. Wow, food for thought. All right, let's go back on the Verge. Stop this crazy train. The new TV shows coming out. All right, electric bike packing. No, not too interesting. Okay, NASCAR shows off an EV prototype. The new ABBB. No, that was too many B's. The new ABB NASCAR EV prototype isn't its next race car, though. Yeah, so apparently, NASCAR might go over to EVs. I mean, not for a long time, though. But I did hear people talking about this, and it is something kind of in the works. NASCAR showed off a new EV prototype stock car at the Chicago Street Race today as part of a presentation on its sustainability initiatives, which it has a new partner for in Swedish electrification firm ABB. The car, which looks more like a performance crossover, like the Ford Mustang Mach-E, is in many ways a total departure from the traditional stock car. Don't expect the ABB NASCAR EV prototype to replace the fuel-burning V8 anytime soon, though. NASCAR says the car has 3 electric motors, 1 in the front and 2 in the back. That's a lot of power. I mean, they're talking about not sustainability, like it's all for sustainability, but also EVs are incredibly fast, like just very, very fast. The problem is they don't last very long, especially when racing. So they're incredibly fast, they don't just have incredible speed, they also have incredible acceleration. But they don't last, which is the problem. I wonder, like, what is the time? How much time are they getting out of these things? Also, they're probably incredibly expensive. $1.5 million. But I guess also regular, like, racing cars are also expensive. Maybe I'll look up how much does a race car cost? How much does a race car cost? Oh, 12 to 15 million. Wait, so that's actually really cheap, but that's a Formula 1 car. So let's see, how much does a NASCAR? I almost searched up NASDAQ. Let's see, how much do NASCAR cars cost? Oh, okay, so NASCAR cars are cheaper. It's 125 to 400. So the electric would be more expensive. Oh, okay. So actually, this one has an average price. What? The lowest recorded price sale was $4,000. What? You can't even get a regular car for that price. Well, we probably could, but what? I don't get. No, these are race cars. I don't know. I don't get it. I'm very confused. Oh, but those are old. I don't know. But let's put it this way: the electric ones are probably more expensive. That's all I'm getting. But the specific price differences. The Verge is failing to connect. I don't know what's going on there. TSARP won't ever fail to connect. Why do I keep making these claims? People are gonna come after us. I wish. That's how you know you make it, when people come after you. That's a horrible thing. That's real bad. Alright, so, yeah, apparently NASCAR electric cars aren't gonna be seen for a while. Besides that prototype. But what if I get one? Why don't I just get one? Guys, why don't they send one to me? It's incredibly mean that they don't send one to me. I think that's rude, and they should right now. By the way, I was doing more work with Anthropic, and it's good. They added an update so, like, it actually runs the code too, which is really cool. A lot better than ChatGPT, because ChatGPT would never run the code. I don't know why. I mean, it does that code analysis thing, or that data analysis where it runs Python code, but that's a lot different. I mean, I wish, yeah, I don't know. It's not as good as what Anthropic can do. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Anthropic, Claude, and that's what I've been using most. I still use ChatGPT for some things, mostly just not coding. Coding is all like Anthropic, but I use ChatGPT for other things. ChatGPT also has a lot of plugins that Anthropic doesn't. So yeah, again, they're trade-offs. Everything has trade-offs in life, pros and cons. And, I was weighing them, and I used both. You can still, you could get a subscription to both if you want, or you could just use the free version of one, which is what I'm doing right now. I have the paid version of ChatGPT, even though I want to switch over to Anthropic, which I will. It's just I just am lazy and really don't feel like getting out my wallet, and that's sadly the reason why. But yeah, yeah, you can just have, like, the paid version of one. Or you could own absolutely every AI that has ever released. Claude, ChatGPT, Copilot, Perplexity, Gemini, and the list really goes on. There's a lot out there. And then there's even, like, we all know the AI rappers, but there's even, like, new AI chatbots that are just rappers on other ones. And by the way, well, we had. I don't mean that this is a rapper of one. I just happened to think of other AIs, and I thought of Beem, who we had the founder of on earlier, and his isn't a rapper. I was just thinking of other AIs when I was also saying rappers. But I'm also a rapper, guys. I rap in my free time. That would be scary. I couldn't even imagine. But yeah, so there's even ones like Beam, which are really epic. Can't wait for it to come out. That will be really fun. And I hope maybe I can get him to give me the demo, but not the public demo, because I couldn't share it with you guys, which would be bad. I don't even know. Yeah, no, actually, honestly, I wouldn't want him to share it with me because I might leak it by accident. Knowing me, I would switch to, like, a tab and be like, oh, guys, let me quickly use Beam. Oh, wait. You guys can't see this, and that's what would happen if I did that. All right. Let's see. I gotta have a let's see. Cool. No. Let's see. See, there I go again. A let's see counter. Hey, what else do I say? Well, obviously an counter. I was about to say it again. No. Why can't I stop? That's a let's see. Yeah, I can't go without saying them. I don't know what the thing is. My brain doesn't work without saying let's see. And, also, I say gotcha a lot, but that's really only in interviews. Like, let's see. I sometimes use them in, like, together. I don't even know. I can't do it anymore, guys. I say the same things over and over. Really, we should get an AI to detect when I say them and then have a count. How cool would that be? That would be really sad to me, but yeah, that's gotta be. We should totally do that. I'm trying to think how it would work. I don't know. That would be pretty complex. Well, not too complex. You would need something to record me. Then you would need to just send, like, a transcript update, record the transcript for 5 seconds, or, well, I don't know. You wouldn't even need an AI. You would just need a transcript and, like, an if statement, practically, and then have a counter. Yeah, all right, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll get someone else to develop it. I don't know if I have the time, but that would be funny. That would be real funny. All right. Oh, that's one. All right. We need an all right counter. Yeah, there's just a lot of things I say on practically repeat. Let's go to Twitter. We don't even go to Twitter ever for news, which makes sense because a lot of the news on Twitter is pretty bad. But let's see. Let me go to the Grok news section. Grok makes news, and it's iffy. All right. Apparently, there's huge news for Tesla shareholders. There are rumors that Tesla is licensing their FSD to Buick. If this is true, this will be the first of many. So this is actually pretty interesting. My jaw's even getting tired. Oh my gosh, I'm talking this much. I've gone this long before. This is the first time, but this is a lot. Whoa. Let's see. Oh, actually, we're getting close on time here. Oh, actually, we're 3 minutes away. So let me finish this up quick. So, Yeah, so this would mean that Buicks would possibly have full self-driving mode just like Teslas, which would be pretty fascinating. And I mean, I guess Tesla would have to get a lot of money for that. Honestly, I don't think they would give away that technology just for free. And also, I don't think they would want to release their source code too. But they would license it, so Buick couldn't steal it, though, like, just by law. But they could make something similar, so I don't know if Tesla would want to give, like, any code, or I don't even know how that would work, but it would be pretty big food for thought. But, alright, I gotta find the link to the space and send it to our guest. Alright, there we go. He's coming on in 2 minutes, guys. T-minus 2 minutes to the next interview. And yeah, so I'm really excited for that one too. I've been actually, let me talk about this. So I put out the link on my Twitter the other day. So anyone who wants to get interviewed on TSARP can. The criteria, though, is you don't have to be a teen. I said teens, but you don't have to be. You can be older, I guess. Well, I don't know. Yeah, sure, sign up. But you also have to be doing something. You have to be building something. You need to be founding something. If I don't think you're far along enough, or I just don't think it's a great fit, I'll have to cancel. Right? If you're starting like well, eggs is something inappropriate, I guess, is what I would immediately take off. But that one's not very hard to figure out. But just starting like something that doesn't, like, if you're learning a new dance routine, that's cool, but it's just not really for TSARP. So I would cancel if I just don't think it's a great fit. But all right, so let me open up 2 tabs. This is what I have to do on Twitter because it never works. I have to open up 2 tabs of the Twitter space, and then make sure that everything is like there. There's not some guests on one screen and the other where there's not the same guest. That's just because Twitter just breaks sometimes, so I have to double check. I explained that so well. All right, so let me promote our guest to speaker, and then we'll get all started. All right, I invited him. All right, so yeah, so I talked about this interview a little earlier today, but Dante is working on a personal brand on Twitter. I think he's getting towards 100 followers, but he's just starting out. Yeah, he's got 96. Let's try to get him to 100. He's also working on, and he's doing he started a home service business, so I want to dive into that a little bit, because like he says on his Twitter a lot of teens or just people think online businesses are like the only way nowadays, but that's not true, so we're going to dive into all of that. So, Dante, how are you doing? No, I think he's still on mute.
Oh, that's my bad. Sorry, my mic was off. I'm doing great today. Glad to be here. And how are you doing today?
Good, thanks for asking. So let's dive just a little bit into your journey. How did you get into entrepreneurship and know you wanted to start a business?
So for me, it started when I was like 6 years old. This is like the Cliff Notes version. I sold Pokemon cards, I sold chips, candy bars, that kind of thing from the time I was 6 up until last year, which was eighth grade. And I've just always had the spirit, wanted to sell things, provide some value to other people, whatever. And that kind of led me to finding these guys called Oliver Lester and Josh Lester on YouTube. And they do window cleaning and stuff like that, which got me into kind of exploring the world of home services instead of trying to do online business because there was a lower initial investment. It was only $150 for the equipment, and then you can instantly sell jobs for like $250 to $300. So that's kind of my Cliff Notes version of the entrepreneurship.
Gotcha. And have you ever had any interest in ever going to like online, or are you just all like home service?
So I actually do have a monetized YouTube channel. So I've done the online business. I've been kind of successful. I've made a few $100s off a private community, and I just personally don't like it as much. I like to get outside. I like to be talking to people in person, and I don't like to just sit at the computer all day. So that's kind of why I do the in person instead of online.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I think there's really, business for everyone, and I think you've really found that for you too. So what do
Oh,
you,
absolutely.
yeah, what do you do for like what services do you provide?
So my biggest hitter this, I guess, the past 40 days, that's how long I've had this open, has been window cleaning. Gotten a lot of jobs for that. You just knock door to door offering it. And I also do some landscaping, which is like weeding, lawn mowing, and those kind of services.
How did you decide those were the ones you wanted to provide?
So I started out originally with weeding because I didn't have any money to buy equipment. And I just figured might as well do as many as I can and then find out what people like. And that happened to be window cleaning. So.
And how do you acquire customers? Just going door to door?
Yeah, door to door sales in my neighborhood and in the surrounding areas, pretty much.
And then have you noticed that like will you get like recurring customers too from that?
Yeah, so I have a customer right now that I weed for every other week until the end of the summer. And I've had some guys that want me to come every single month to do like power washing or window washing, that kind of thing. But I haven't, so since I'm not a legitimate business yet and I don't have a LLC, I can't set up recurring invoices. But that is something I'll do in the future.
Gotcha. All right. And do you do this with any of your friends?
So I have two brothers who help me out with it. They don't do too much, but if they're here at our place, then they'll help me do jobs.
Gotcha. All right. And now let's go a little bit into the personal brand you're starting and all of that. So actually, first, let's dive into YouTube a little bit. How did you decide to start a YouTube channel?
So I'd always wanted to, and honestly, I love the idea of putting my thoughts out there for other people to analyze, criticize, enjoy, and whatnot. And so I started, right. I had always admired people like Dan TDM. I watched Minecraft content when I was a little kid. PewDiePie, whatever. And so I decided that I wanted to start, and there wasn't really a greater purpose for it. I wasn't trying to make money. I wasn't trying to sell anything. I just enjoyed making content, and that's how I got into it.
Yeah, and now you're at 1.7K subscribers on YouTube, which is amazing.
Yes.
And when did you really start to see that growth? Did you think it was pretty quick, or did it like come slowly all the time, or was there just like one video that went viral?
So for me, I got to 1,200 subscribers from just like basically consistently posting daily videos. Did that for about 6 months, got up to 1,000 subs. And then what really got me monetized, got me the watch hours, was one video, which is a video in which I criticized Hamza for scamming people. And that thing got 80,000 views and pushed me over the edge. So I basically took a year of YouTube knowledge and having no success and put that all into one video. And it was like the overnight success, right? All of a sudden I was getting thousands of views. So
Gotcha. And so then from there, how did you decide you wanted to go over to Twitter/X?
I really liked what Elon was doing with the platform, how it was more free speech. You can talk about whatever you want without the risk of being banned or canceled or whatever else, right? And so I personally enjoy the platform, and then also I know it's a very good way to sell a product eventually, and I also enjoy it. So those are the two reasons.
Gotcha. And when did you start on Twitter?
I started about 30 days ago, so in June,
All
or it
right.
might have been very late May,
And
somewhere
you've
around there.
already seen a bunch of success too. You're already at 96 followers too, and you've been posting a lot too, and you've gotten a bunch of views on some of your posts. So
Oh
how
yeah.
did you decide what you want to post?
For me, it was, mentors like Dan Co. I bought the 2 Hour Writer. Haven't been fully through the course, but it gave me some very good ideas. And then other than that, I mean, I'm not really too into like growth hacking or anything. I just post what I think, and I think what social media is missing is authenticity. And since I'm being authentic, there's going to be, those 100, maybe 1,000 people who enjoy my content. So that's where my growth has come from, in my opinion.
Yeah, and are there any places like you've really learned a lot of information from, books, courses? Are you into any of that stuff?
I read a lot of books that aren't, I mean, they're not related to Twitter. I just read business books, right? So, like The Lean Startup, Think and Grow Rich, all the books you'd expect me to read. But as for this, I have one mentor on Twitter. I don't like, he doesn't know I exist, but his name's Aaron, I think that's his name, Aaron. Forget his full name, but he basically does a bunch of like Twitter growth like advice essentially. and he has very straightforward advice. It's not anything where it's like, um, oh, here wishy-washy, do these 3 hacks and you'll get followers. He makes it very simple, pretty much.
Yeah.
So
And yeah, what I love about your content a lot is it's kind of like, this is what you've accomplished already. This, you've started young, 15, and now you're kind of like posting through your journey too, where a lot of people will kind of like post from like a perspective like they've accomplished everything when really they're also just starting out, and then kind of make it like just like a weird like just like strange, but I like how you're doing it kind of because like you're posting from the perspective as like, you've just started out, you've seen some success, and this is like your journey, and you're also like posting a lot of kind of like inspirational, but I think more the word is like motivation to keep, to get going and get started, which I think is great.
yeah, yeah. And the content is basically just for someone who's maybe a year younger than me, right? Like 14-year-old Dante, what advice can I give him, right? I've made $1,500 off a business. What advice could I give the guy who is just starting? And that's really my intention with this whole thing. I'm not trying to give advice on how to make 10K because I haven't made 10K, right? So I'm only giving advice on things I've actually done.
Exactly, and that's what I really like about yours compared to other people who just like, they try to make what they've done way more than they actually have and give advice that they really don't know works themselves some of the time or just stolen, but I think you're really great by, how you don't do that. So then what are some other, where do you want to take all this? Where do you want to go?
So the future plans are essentially the personal branding, which is like my TikTok, my Instagram, my YouTube, and my X accounts. Just trying to get as much reach as possible, document my journey. And I'm not going to make any money off of those things for the next few years. I don't expect to. I don't even care if I do. The intention with those is just to get my story out there. And then once I achieve a good level of success from my actual real world businesses, then I can come back onto these platforms and sell that implementation to my audience because they'll trust me and I can actually offer a good product. So that's kind of the long term plan.
Gotcha. And you also have a newsletter, right?
Yeah, and that's just another way of getting some outreach. And I don't try to sell anything on there. I just send newsletters that I think could help my past self, pretty much. So
Gotcha. And how often do you send those out?
I try to send at least 3 a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So
All right. And how long are they?
they're only 150 words each. I try to keep it around that, so it'll take you about 1 minute to read on average, just so it's like a quick little message that you can get easily.
All right. And have you gotten any feedback on that?
I haven't gotten any feedback on my newsletters yet. No, I mean, there's not that many people that read them, and therefore I haven't gotten any feedback. So
Gotcha. But I do like that approach that you're taking, that they're like shorter too, like 1 minute. Because like even you'll see like a lot of newsletters that are like only 5 minute reads, like every day, catch up on the news. But like sometimes like there's so many that sometimes I just like want the little quick snapshot, from each of them because sometimes it's just
exactly,
way too much to read. But
yeah,
yes,
and
I think
and
that's
that's something that annoys me too about newsletters, right? I get newsletters from Dan Coe and Aaron, and those are my two mentors for Twitter. And sometimes they're like 600, 700 words, and it's like, man, I don't want to dedicate that much time to a newsletter or like just reading some random email. And so that's kind of where I try to fill the gap in the market for the shorter newsletters.
Yeah, and what's cool about newsletters is like, there's no algorithm with them. Like this is email. You
Yeah,
receive an email. You don't really need to optimize for any algorithm, but I think a lot of these creators are so just used to making content for other platforms where like, it's almost like there's like sometimes filler where it doesn't need to because this is a newsletter. No one's tracking how long you're there's no view duration or watch time on a newsletter, So, I think sometimes just creators aren't used to writing for newsletters, which is why sometimes they tend to be longer or include filler. But that's why I really like how you're doing them with that shorter format.
yeah, and I agree with you. Newsletters are totally different because, like you said, there's no organic reach. They have to sign up to get your newsletter, which means they already like your content, and you don't need to have, the craziest hooks or anything like that because they already like you. They're going to read it anyways. So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And what are some of your goals for everything you're doing?
For me right now, I'm just trying to hit 2K in July. $2,000 seems like a really good goal to me because if I can do that for the next 10 months, I'll be able to buy my car and my motorcycle, which are two things that I want once I get my driver's license. And other than that, that's my main goal. I try to only keep it to one goal at a time because, my brain gets off track otherwise. So.
And how are you reinvesting in your businesses?
So I'll use the window cleaning example. When I first started, I just had a little tiny squeegee and, some Windex and rags. And then as I, got more jobs and etc., I bought a window cleaning pole that extends to 30 feet so I could clean second story windows. And I bought better formulas that were streak free. And I bought better rags that didn't scratch windows because that was a big problem. And, as you continue to go on, you just buy better and better equipment. And eventually, there's a piece of equipment that's $3,000 that will take my job times from 3 hours to 30 minutes. And that's basically how I level up in the physical world with business.
Do you think have you tried to do any online marketing or social media marketing for those home service businesses or just for like your other stuff?
So it's just been for the other stuff, and there's a specific reason for that. It's mainly because even if I was to do like Facebook ads or Google ads, right, I wouldn't actually be able to get to the client's house. So let's say I have an ad for within 15 miles of me. I get a client that's 15 miles away. I can't get there. Like I'm not going to walk 15 miles with my equipment. And since I can't drive, I'm kind of screwed out of the job. And so I've just been doing door knocking in my local area instead. But once I have a car, I certainly will do that.
Gotcha. All right. So you think that will really help propel your business even further?
Oh, 100%. I think the car is my biggest limiting factor because as soon as I get a car, I all of a sudden go from 250 potential clients to 25,000, right? And so I can quite literally 100x my business if I really try at it. So.
And do you think in the future you might employ other teens to help you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, my brothers have a few friends that would be interested. I have a couple friends who'd be interested, and that really just comes down to getting the margins down and then actually having consistent work. Because right now, I don't have jobs every day. So I basically need to get to the point where I have multiple hours of jobs per day, and then I will definitely hire other teenagers to help me out.
And do you have any advice for other teens trying to get started?
Just take action. That's literally it. I mean, with any service you want to do, man, if you have zero money, just go and knock and ask for weeding, like ask them to do weeding. And all you need for that is a pair of gloves and a trash bag. You can just go ask your neighbors. I'm sure they'll say yes. You charge 15 bucks an hour, 20 bucks an hour, and you get like started, right? Then you use that money to buy better equipment and it can snowball. But you don't need to think about any of, step 2, 3, 4. You just need to think about step 1, which is getting your first client. And that's fairly simple.
All right. And is there anything else you want to plug or talk about?
No, I think this was a good conversation.
Yeah, all right. Well, thanks for joining us and coming on today.
Of course. Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, and I'd love to have you back on in the future if you're ever launching another thing or you've got some updates on your business.
Yeah, of course. I'll let you know, and I'll, just send you a Discord message or whatever. So,
all
I
right.
appreciate it, man.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks. See ya.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, so I think we got about 15 minutes till the end here. And then in that meantime, we were talking a little bit about, we had just found some more news that I wanted to go over. This was, let me see if I can find it here. Oh no, all my I have so many tabs open right now. I have an incredible amount of tabs and windows and OBS open and everything where it's like crazy right now. But, that's what you have to do when you're live streaming. We're also streaming to I think right now Twitch, Kick, Twitter, YouTube, and then I also have a Discord stage going too, which is wild. All right, so let's open this up and get going. Let's find like one or two more topics till the end here. All right, so here's something. This is something I've kind of been wondering. Some of you might be wondering, well, not this specifically, but just this as a general topic. Drones, right? Like, once drones are really flying around in our sky and delivering us packages, like, what's gonna happen? Like, what if we accidentally say a drone flies down and I happen to throw a rock at the drone? I'm not implying anything. What happens to the drone? Do I need to call someone to come pick up this drone? What if a drone crash lands on my lawn, right? Or what this news article says, what happens if you shoot down a delivery drone? Not what I was wondering, but also, I guess, a good question. All right, so as deep-pocketed companies like Amazon and Google and Walmart all invest in experimental delivery with drones, okay, I can't speak. We're almost 2 hours in, guys. I can't speak at this point. Anyway, drones carrying snacks and other I don't know, are being shot out of the sky. Incidents are still rare, however. An arrest in Florida in which a man allegedly shot down a drone, only in Florida, which I'm so glad I'm moving there, shot down a Walmart drone, raises questions of what the legal ramifications are and whether those consequences could escalate if these events become more common. In the Florida case, Walmart was conducting delivery demonstrations in Florida, roughly 25 miles west of Orlando, when a loud sound was heard during the craft's descent. According to the Lakeland County Sheriff's Office, the suspect, Dennis Wynn, allegedly admitted to shooting the drone. He allegedly told authorities this wasn't his first experience with drones flying over and around his home, leading him to believe that the small unmanned crafts might be spying on him. So, I guess, let's go back at the beginning. What happened? So he was arrested, but I don't know if anything's been charged. Oh, okay, so he was charged. He was charged with discharging a firearm and criminal mischief, resulting in damage of more than $1,000. For its part, Walmart claims that the amount totaled around $2,500, primarily involving the drone's payload system. So, I mean, I get and I don't get this guy at the same time. First of all, only in Florida would this happen. Second of all, like, I get the guy thought he might be being spied on, but, like, who shoots down a drone? I don't even know, like, and why him? Like, it could have been anyone in his neighborhood. It was probably just a drone, like, you know, like a neighborhood kid was flying a drone. I don't get why he thought he was being spied on. Maybe his house was, like, away from other houses. Like, you know, maybe it wasn't, like, a suburb. Maybe it was, like, on a farm or something. Are there even farms in Florida? I don't think so. Maybe. But, yeah, so, I don't know. But the question here is, like, what are the penalties? Like, what do you do if your drone gets shot down? It's just so strange. And yeah, I mean, the article says it's likely more drones will be shot down, considering the United States is home to more guns than people. And while last week's incident isn't without precedent, it's not entirely clear how stiff the consequences could become for shooting down a drone. I mean, there's questions not just for, like, shooting down a drone, but, like, all the things with drones. Like, how many are there going to be in our sky at one time? Like, who can fly these drones? What do you need to do to, like, request one? You know, we still need, not everywhere allows drones like these to fly. And just, like, there's so many laws and rules and stuff. Like, also, like, here's a question. Are drones just allowed to fly on your property, right? Like, if you request a drone to drop off a package, it needs to go to your house and drop off the package. But, like, what if I don't want drones flying around my house? Like, how do I prevent a drone from landing on my yard? You know, like, just, like, the most random stuff that the future is causing us all to wonder, you know? But now we have another question. which was discussed in this article, and we still don't know the answer. What's going to happen if you shoot down a drone? Well, we'll have to see, I guess, in the future, but I am not going to test it to figure it out. I can tell you all that. I will not be testing it to figure it out. Yeah, man, I can't wait till I move to Florida and people start shooting down drones. Yeah, quite wild. All right, I know that Texas was also implementing drones. I believe Amazon was delivering medicine by drone in Texas, was the story. That was old. That was like a few months ago we talked about that. I don't know if that's still true or not. I also know, what's that company? Zip? Is it Zipline? I think it might be Zipline. Let me look it up. Zipline drones. It's something like that. Maybe it's not Zipline, but it's Zipline Logistics and Drone Delivery? Yes, it is Zipline. Okay, yeah. They're a big one too with delivering packages, but they're drones, but their drones are not what you would think. Like, they look almost like small planes. And they're very interesting. And those are what they're known for too, is also they deliver blood to hospitals in other countries, which is interesting. So many very interesting drone uses. And drones are definitely one thing that fascinates me, but also makes me question a lot. All right, yeah, actually, let's see. Is there, I feel like, we've been talking about drones for so long, just in the world, and imagine when we get packages delivered by drones, but when is it actually gonna happen? I guess we just don't have the infrastructure and technology, but I just wonder, when is it gonna happen? And there's also so many companies working on it too. It's not like we're all gonna get the same drones delivering to our houses. Not like it's gonna all be Amazon drones, right? These could be drones from many different companies, like I was just saying, Zipline. So we have to see. Maybe that's what we should do. We should bring on a drone expert. Oh, that's a good idea. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, let me go after this episode. Let me research drone people and see who we can get on here to talk about drones. Because I'm fascinated by them. Don't know about you guys. A little quick story, or a quick factoid. I've crashed every drone I've ever owned. And I've owned a lot of drones. I mean, these are, toy drones, for kids. I've crashed every single one of them. And actually not crashed. I take that back. Crashing is normal, right? Every kid's crashed a drone. No, I've gotten every drone I've owned stuck in trees. Now, a lot of the time, I'm able to get them out, because I'm really good at getting drones out of trees. Yeah, some of them I've gone out. The others, well, some kid probably got a free drone when it fell down one day, but I'm just not the best with them. But I've always been interested in them. Just don't have me fly your Amazon package to your house. Probably won't go too well. All right, so before we end off today's episode, I was going to say we could look at the market, but it's already up on the screen if you're on YouTube, so go check it out. Let's see what's coming up this week. So we got episodes Monday, today was Monday. Wednesday, Friday. We also got a Young Minds and Market Finds episode coming out Friday. Tune in for that. I think Friday, as long as everyone's available. So that's going to be really epic. If you're into investing, tune into that on Friday. That's always early in the morning, too, so you're going to have to wait. I think we're going to probably do it from 9 to 9:30 or something like that. So it's going to be really epic. Wednesday, Friday, we got very cool guests coming on. Not today's weren't cool, but those ones might be better. Not sure. I don't know, but they might be cool. Today's were cool, though. A really awesome guest that came on today. Tune in Wednesday, Friday for more episodes. And I think this will be the schedule for the rest of summer. Though once school starts up for me, I don't know what we're going to be doing. I might start doing, I don't know, maybe every day again like we did during the school year. It's definitely not going to be 2 hours. I might already shorten the time span on these episodes during summer. But if we fill up with 3 guests per episodes, I won't. But otherwise, I might have to shorten how many guests we bring on. I mean, how long these episodes are. So I think it's only 2:56. We'll end it a little early. It's good enough. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll see you back here on Wednesday. See you then. Bye, everyone.